We will kick off with Dustin Long. Dustin, go ahead with your question for Kyle.
Thank you. Kyle, obviously you've worked with Jacob before as your crew chief and worked with him this season, the Xfinity Series. I know you have him this weekend again. I'm curious, in the situation for Saturday night, do you have to talk a little bit differently or describe things a little differently on the radio because you don't have as much experience with Jacob, or can you say the same things because obviously Adam's listening in, and if he needs to, he can kind of decipher and kind of sort things out for you guys?
Yeah, I'm not sure with technology today and the war room and all that stuff at Joe Gibbs Racing with the communications and all of that stuff that we have going on right now, that much is going to be different at all, really, based off of, Adam being at the track or not being at the track. I mean, especially with no practice and none of that stuff, basically just calling a race. I mean, the only thing that, sometimes Adam would see is essentially the car going down the front straightaway, by him. But, there's no seeing the car on top of the truck or seeing what it does on that. They're still going to have the same photos available to them, the TV coverage available to them. So I don't know that it's really going to be all that much different. Like me talking on the radio is basically talking directly to Adam. It's just I can't hear back from Adam. That'll be all, information coming back to me will be from Jacob. So I don't foresee it being a whole lot different. Obviously, the car back at the shop is all set up by Adam and everything else. It's just a guy on top of the box.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to take our next question from Tim with the Richmond Times. Go ahead, Tim.
Good afternoon, Kyle. I hope you're doing well. Since you didn't run here in the spring with the downforce package, what are the challenges with running this time?
It's not going to be as what it was last year. I think it's going to be more reminiscent to maybe 2017 or 2018 as far as the downforce package and the way the cars feel and such like that. But I'm sure with the tire upgrades that have been going on from Goodyear over the last year or two, the tires are certainly going to react different. So the downforce level is not going to necessarily feel exactly the same. But, you're going to look at your notes from 17, 18 and kind of look and see what things you did or didn't do well in that time period and start from there.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to take our next question from Claire B. Lane. Claire, go ahead.
Thank you. Kyle, you're running the Xfinity race, correct, this weekend at Richmond?
That's right.
And this will be your last Xfinity race of the season that you're allowed to do, right? How much will it help you to race the Xfinity race in preparation for the next day in the Cup race?
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime you're able to run a race, give you an opportune time to just kind of check out the track, check out the tire, kind of feel and see what's going on. Not real sure what the weather's going to have for this weekend, so we'll see how that all kind of plays out with tonight and the truck race, and then tomorrow night trying to get our Xfinity race in. You always try or want to run the Xfinity race prior to the Cup race, especially this day and age with no practice and such. So that would give you a little bit of a heads up as to what to expect. But it might not even happen Friday night. If Mother Nature steps in and says no Xfinity race on Friday, then I'll run my Cup race before the Xfinity race. So the use of it is not necessarily going to be what we expect it to be. But anyways, we hope it all goes down on schedule. And it should be a useful tool.
How much do you love racing Xfinity? How much do you enjoy just the pure racing of it?
It's good. I mean, some of those guys are all really doing a good job, putting on a good show, fighting hard. I mean, the races this day and age, the way the driver etiquette has changed the last couple of years is very different, and it comes from all these guys in their younger ranks and younger series that they run in, and just bringing up that aggression all the way through. And they're even the Cup nowadays with the Aero package. There is no chill time. There is no, let somebody go. They'll let me go later. Although sometimes some of us older guys, myself or Kevin or Denny or Martin, Jimmy Johnson, for instance, we may still play in that realm a little bit, where we, kind of give and take a little bit and see what happens later on in the race.
Thanks a lot. Good luck. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, we're going to take our next question from Alex Andrea. Alex, go ahead.
Hey Kyle, I'm kind of wondering, in this era, this COVID era with, maybe limited time to sort of meet your team in person, how important do you feel like it is to have a long-standing relationship with your crew chief?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important. I mean, sometimes we're seeing right now, for instance, the Jason Radcliffe and the Christopher Bell. I mean, they're kind of going through a hit or miss, a little bit of rough patch, just not having the experience and not having the the communication together, especially with these Cup cars. Obviously, they've run the last couple of years in the Xfinity series together, but learning a new car, sometimes learning a few new tracks is been challenging. But having that notebook and having that experience that's been developed over time with myself and Adam certainly helps. Gives us a good basis to kind of go off of, but also too, the setups and everything else is ever evolving and always changing, and so there's a lot of things that we always have to take into consideration going into race weekends, what to do or what to change and what to improve on from the last time we were somewhere.
Thank you. Good luck.
Okay, we're going to take our next question from Woody Kane. Woody, go ahead.
Hey, Kyle, thanks for your time. I'm just curious as to where you feel like your team is. You've shown speed at times this year, but obviously everything's magnified in the playoffs. But do you feel like you guys are on the verge of breaking through or still with a lot of work to do? Where do you think things sit right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, we struggle in traffic. That's our biggest problem is I can't get through traffic very well. So we kind of saw it in Darlington this week. It was like wherever I single filed out in a race run is kind of where I ran. There wasn't much of me going forward or going backwards for that matter. But when I got up front and got up to second, I was able to restart with Martin Truex. Truex and I ran really fast, really hard, and drove away from the field. So our car had speed. We had, the comfort in being up front and the aero, being in second place. Versus being back in 7th or 8th or whatever it might be. And so we were able to drive away from the field. So that gave me some optimistic measures for, things to come. And obviously our teammates have been starting up front. They've been running up front. They've been doing a good job of keeping themselves in the mix as far as all that goes. And so if we can continue to evolve and get ourselves up a little bit higher, then, hopefully that'll bode well for us too down the stretch here.
Thanks. Appreciate you coming on with us.
Yep.
All right, we're going to take our next question from Marty at ROC Sports. Marty, go ahead.
Thanks, Amanda. Kyle, hope you're doing well. I'm curious. Auto Club means a lot to you. We got your 200th win across all three series, and obviously we had the big news earlier this week on it being reconfigured into a short track come 2022. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, fact of the matter is I don't like it. I like California Speedway. I like the way it is. I think it's a really fun racetrack. I mean, I kind of understand the fan point of it where it gets a little strung out. It gets a little extended, cars aren't up on top of each other and such and all of that. But, there's a good point to argue where there's really been some fantastic finishes there over the years. And being an old wore out surface, it gives itself an opportunity to, put on a good show or put on a good race with us drivers, but even as much as we want to, applaud or whatnot on some of these racetracks that we feel like put on good races from the driver's seat, sometimes they don't always do that from the TV standpoint. Atlanta earlier this year was a heck of a race from the driver's seat. You could run all over the racetrack, but when Kevin Harvick runs away from the field by 4 to 6 seconds, it's kind of boring. So, you can't run away from the field at a short track by 4 to 6 seconds. So there's going to be everybody up on top of each other a little bit more and guys running into guys and such. And if the layout is really what they show and what we expect it to be, it's going to be a track that's going to be hard on equipment and hard on brakes and hard on tempers.
Perfect. Thanks for your time, man. Good luck to you this weekend.
Yep.
All right, we're going to take one final question with Kyle from Jordan Bondurant. Jordan, go ahead.
Hi, Kyle. What is it about Richmond that sort of suits your driving style? You've had a lot of success at Richmond in the past, and you talked a little bit about the issues that you've had maneuvering through traffic. So, putting that into perspective, how do you sort of view coming into this weekend? And again, how does Richmond sort of suit your driving style?
I don't know. Over the years, I started out really bad there. My first truck series race was horrible. I think I ran into everything but the hot dog stand. So, the next time I went there, though, was with Hendrick in the Busch series in 2004 when they first repaved the track. And I ran really well. We were able to win that race, led the most laps and won. So from that point forward, I feel like I kind of learned or had a sense of what it takes to be fast there and what you need to be able to do to win there. And as the years have gone on, the racetrack has definitely aged. It's definitely gone through some transition. It's lost a lot of grip. And so there's been some changes in that as well, too, and just trying to figure out, okay, what's next? What's the next thing that's going to keep you on top of your game at Richmond? So it's always been a great track for me. I enjoy going there. It's a fun short track. It's a very challenging short track that doesn't lend itself to typical short tracks around the country. So that kind of lends itself to some different ideas and concepts that you have to be ready for. And, myself and Denny and Martin now and Carl, when Carl was with us, and Matt Kenseth, I think we've all won there at Richmond in Joe Gibbs racing cars. So we certainly have a good basis of our cars that tend to run well there.
All right. Cole, I believe I missed your hand being up. Do you have a question for Kyle?
Yeah, I was just curious. Being from the West Coast, Las Vegas boy, have you had anybody affected by the wildfires on the West Coast?
I have not heard of anything, no. I've got a few friends out in the LA area, and then a couple that are in Idaho, not too far off of, Sonoma area and stuff like that. So fortunately, we haven't heard of anybody having any issues. So thankfully that's been safe as far as our connection goes. But we know there's plenty of other family connections and people out there that are suffering through the wildfires and such. And we wish them all the best and hope that they can come out of this all good on the opposite side.
Thanks, Kyle. Sending well wishes to your way and your family as well.
Thanks.
Okay, we will take one final question here from Ashley with Popular Speed. Go ahead, Ashley.
Hey, Kyle. We're about to start the playoffs in the Truck Series. I was just wondering your assessment of your two young drivers this year and the season that they've been able to put together.
Yeah, it's been all right. The last 4, 5, 6 weeks, Christian Eckes has really come on strong. And, he had a few second place finishes in a row, had a third in there. Probably should have finished in the top 3 at Gateway before we had a mechanical failure. So he's been having some good runs. That's been very promising, at least running in the top 3, top 5 and getting some good finishes where he belongs. And you do that enough times and the win is certainly going to come. So, Rafi had struggled with the beginning of the season and not having a whole lot of practice, going to all of these racetracks for the first time. But really his last 3 weeks have given us a vote of confidence and where he's run well. He ran well and ran strong at Darlington, probably arguably our best KBM truck was his effort at Darlington. And then, also had a good, decent run there at Gateway as well, too, being in the top 5, running 4th at a point. So, looking for some strong runs here to finish out the season. I think Eckes will be in the playoffs, obviously. I don't know that Rafi will make it. We hope for a win, but other than that, he's kind of on the outside looking in. So we'll just have to keep fighting it out and try to get all those guys some wins. I know Chandler has been running real hard and has had a good run at Darlington going. Had a loose wheel there at the end, so that was derailed, but also had a few wrecks in there as well. So those guys need to clean that up a little bit and get themselves in contention of running in the top 8. Don't shoot for wins. Let's just shoot for top 8s right now. We'll work our way up to the top 5 and get where we need to get first.
Perfect. Thank you, and best of luck this weekend.
Thank you.
All right, Kyle, we appreciate you joining us. We thank you for your time, and we wish you luck this weekend in Richmond.
Absolutely. Cool, man. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.